pressure. She sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
He's not banking on the skill that he's been blessed with.
It's a Kelsey. Great catch. Touchdown. Kansas City to 10. Still not down. Oh, what a run. Out of this world. Sinks it up the middle. Intercepted. Intercepted by Matthew. The Honey Badger doesn't care.
Well, the Chiefs close out their history-making regular season at 14-2, losing this game to the Chargers 38-21. Mitch Holthus with you, voice of the Chiefs, along with the man we call the Shop, the Barber Shop, the Spider-Man, 10-year NFL veteran and leader in our community, Shawn Barber. You know, when we were on Field Pass earlier today, we talked about why this game is important. And you want to win the game. The Chiefs were making every effort to win the game, but there were a lot of positives. I saw Mike Dana maybe go to another level in this game. Tim Ward on defense. Later in the show, we're going to hear from Darwin Thompson and BYRON Pringle. They were positives on the offensive side. What about guys getting the chance and maximizing it?
Like you said, even we had some guys at offensive line, right? We saw some things out of some guys that we didn't know. We didn't know they possessed that kind of ability. We saw a swing guard in the making. We saw a guy that possibly could be a upcoming tackle. So some guys that we wasn't 100% sure about, now we know. We know exactly what we have moving forward, and that, to me, is a win in itself. Just taking that unknown, that question mark off some guys, and knowing guys in the moment, it wasn't too big for them. You mentioned Tim Ward. He hasn't had the opportunity all year to show anybody anything. He comes out here, sacks, big plays, running people down. He's a man on a mission, and it was just he loves playing football. So we found out today some young guys who didn't have the opportunity, no, they still really love playing the game of football.
Yeah, a couple local guys here. We're going to hear from BYRON Pringle later in the show, the wide receiver from K-State, who was outstanding in this game in both scrimmage downs and special teams. But you alluded to Yasir Durant, the rookie out of Mizzou, that had played tackle a little bit, thrown into emergency situation. They started him at guard today. I'm like, why are they starting him at guard? I'm not sure they didn't find something here. He looks like those old Ravens guards, right? Like 6'7", 330, and he can run.
Man, the pile of dust. Sometimes at the line of scrimmage, you don't need 3-4 feet. I don't need 3-4 yards. I need 6 inches. I need a 6-inch step. I need a punch this with some purpose, passion, some violence to move that line of scrimmage just about six inches to allow a hole to open up for the running back. And I think we found a guy. I think we found a guy that when it comes down to it, the nitty-gritty, getting his hand nice and dirty, he loves that 6-inch punch, and it was a local guy getting it done.
Maybe you found a new Caseccio Semele. Let's go to the podium and hear from Coach Reed.
All right. Had a couple injuries. Willie Gay has an ankle sprain. The tough one was DeAndre Baker. His left femur was broken, so he's going to go through, and the docs will do a great job putting him back together there on that. My heart goes out to the kid. He's been busting his tail and really done a nice job for us. He'll be able to come back from this, so that's a positive as we go forward. And then Fenton, really both ankles were getting him a little bit there towards the end. But I thought he did a nice job battling through on that. Had a couple of real nice returns and some good pass coverage breakups. So, anyways, listen, I'm proud of the guys. I mean, this was a lot like a fourth preseason game where we asked these guys to play offense, defense, and special teams. And there weren't a lot of backups that I was going to play. So they really had to push through it, and in most cases all worked out well. We were able to get a good look at some of the young guys. Some of the old guys were able to knock some of the rust off that they might have. So, and all of them had a great attitude with it. We came up short. I mean, we kind of had it going there for a little bit early, and after the punt, the muff punt, we had a problem there. After that short field, and they did a nice job. Listen, my hat goes off to the Chargers. I mean, they could easily come in here and not want to play. I mean, and it's a tribute to their head football coach and their organization. They're all those coaches and players for playing. And I got a ton of respect for Anthony and the job that he does. And he's got that thing going here now. They've won the last 4 games, and what a way to go into the offseason. I mean, it's a real tribute to him and his coaches and players. Anyways, with that time, yours.
Go first to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy. Given the nature of, like you've seen, this a fourth preseason game, just how difficult is it to see the progress that DeAndre had made with the roster, with you guys over the last month or so, and to see the injury that occurred to him? And
Yeah, I mean,
did you have any words for him before he was carted off?
Yeah, I just told him to kind of hang in there, man. I mean, he was hurting, so it's obviously he's not doing a whole lot of talking to him right there. But I'm just proud of the way he's handled himself since he's been here. He's been through a tough road here, and comes in and really has done a nice job of just concentrate on playing, and went on and he was playing good football. Kind of a freak thing that happened, and I know he'll rebound from it, but for right now, our hearts go out to him. So.
Let's go next to Herbie T.O.P. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. Good evening. You had mentioned you told Chad Henne to enter this game and play it like a 20-year-old. Did he meet your expectations, and how do you think he did today?
Listen, I thought Chad did a real nice job. I thought he maneuvered around in the throw game well, the run game. He was accurate with the RPO part of it. He had good combinations with the termite, man. He was battling 34 and did a nice job. So I was proud of proud of him for how he worked. D-Rob's another one. I thought D-Rob really showed what he can do when he's in there starting in a position. And he's a heck of a football player.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. I just wanted to ask you, how much work, maybe the answer is zero, but how much work have you guys been able to do on potential opponents in 2 weeks? And what's your message to guys as they get what I assume would be a few days, a little bit resting?
Yeah, they just take care of themselves. I mean, take advantage of the time and rest, and then we'll get back to it here. So, and then their minds won't go far from it. That's just how this group's wired. So, not too worried about that. And then stay safe. That's the other part. So, with the COVID part of it. Tell me your first part. What was the other part of that you had?
Can you hear me? Yeah, it was just how much work you've been able to do on potential opponents.
Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to narrow it down with the games still going on. I mean, it's crazy with all the parity. But a couple of teams we already know. We've dug in on some of the other ones that we don't know just to get a foundation. And some of my coaches behind the scenes, Joe Blameyer does a great job with all that. So, and he digs in, and we call it, and then likewise on the defensive side, the guys, they have a combination of guys that do it. So, with Terry and Alex Whittingham, so they get in and devour all that stuff too. So, you're able to get at least a foundation on the teams, kind of what they're doing, the ones we haven't played.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go to Pete.
Hey, Coach, wanted to ask you about two players. First, Darwin Thompson, and then also BYRON Pringle. It really felt like Thompson's confidence had been up, and I was just curious for your thoughts on his game. And then with Pringle, can a game like today show maybe you what you need to even potentially use him over the next month in the postseason?
Yeah, I should have mentioned Pringle too. I mean, he's just he's really done a nice job all the way through. He was banged up there for a little bit. Ever since he's been back, he's really given us good snaps, and today was no different. He's so physical when he catches and runs, and he's got a real knack for that. You see it on his return game too. And then Darwin, I'm happy for him because he hasn't had much playing time since early in the season before we got Levy on, and all of a sudden now he gets to go in there. He's so excited to have an opportunity to play. He got to show that he can catch the ball, he can run the ball and block and all the things that we ask a running back to do. So it was great for him.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go Adam and then Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy, can you give us a sense of what your schedule is this week and how much practice time you figure you'll get in this week?
Yeah, so we'll get a couple days in throughout the week, and we'll get some conditioning stuff worked in there. And I'll sit down and put all that together going forward here.
Go last to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach. I know you'll need to review the tape here, but one guy who seemed to flash defensively was Tim Ward. I was curious what you thought of his night, just what you could see on the sideline.
Listen, I was real happy for him because he's a kid was a basketball player and played a ton of football, so gives him an opportunity to get in here, and he showed it on the scout team every day, working our guys hard, and we kind of look forward to seeing what he would do when he had to worry when he wasn't doing it off a card, right? So that's and he got in and did a heck of a job, I thought. I'm curious to see it on tape and see exactly. I didn't watch him every snap, but he showed up, and so I thought that was big.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Be safe.
And a chance now to be joined by BYRON Pringle, who had a big day in this game. What about just preparing to play this game when you knew you were going to have a big role? First of all, I call you the door hinge. You played tight end, you played slot, you played X, you played Z, you played running back, and I don't notice it till I watch the video. Like, okay, he just made the key play to get Kelsey open. But now you were a WR1 in this game. What about getting ready to play this game and performing?
I knew once we had got the schedule and knew that we was playing, I had to be mentally tough, make sure I'm hydrated because I had to play 4 phases of special team as well. And I just going to give it my all, go all 4 quarters, just give it my all. And times like this in the offseason prepare you for opportunities like this to be able to go out and play wide receiver and do all special teams.
As a receiver, man, you got to be humbled and you got to be honored. And I can tell by the way, with the passion you play the game, each snap, you don't take anything for granted. You take every opportunity to play to the top of your performance, to reach your potential, and show everybody what you have the ability to do on down that field. So I can appreciate that. Coming out of this game and looking into the playoffs and looking how obviously the roles is the ebb and flow to the roles. How do you just keep your mindset and keep your mental focus on making sure that you're not only prepared but ready to make that big play when asked? Come to playoffs.
Something that stuck with me since I started back playing ball at Butler Community College, win the 1-0 battle, that which is take one play at a time, one day at a time, and every one rep at a time, and just give it your all, 110%, and just stay focused at the task at hand. That's coming out victorious at the end of the game.
Well, BYRON, a great example of that was your 31-yard catch and run that set up the 3rd touchdown. Just kind of walk us through that play, the route, the catch, and then able to get 21 yards after contact.
I knew once I seen the linebacker dropping back, I was going to be able to get him in a crossover run. And once he crossed over, I just dropped it down, and I seen the ball coming from Chad. And once I broke that one tackle and out in space, I would definitely take me versus a lot of people out in space, one-on-one tackling, because I'm around with a lot of, like Barber say, I run with a lot of passion. I mean, you can tell I play with a lot of passion, and I just run hard because I don't ever know my next time I'm gonna be able to touch the ball. So I let the defense know that I come to play. It can be I come off the bench cold, or I can be on the field hot. I'm gonna give it to you every time.
Man, your running style it reminds me of the Tasmanian Devil. If you remember that Looney Tunes, it's a whirlwind. I don't know if you're going to duck, dive, bob, and weave. I don't know what you're going to do, but I know it's going to be done violently and done with a lot of purpose. And I can appreciate the way you stay focused. You finish every route. That's something that I've watched you in film. I've scouted. Every route you're on the field, you're running like the ball is intended for you, like it's coming to you. And then immediately when the ball is thrown, you go into a secondary phase of going to try to get that next block, trying to finish on the right side of the defender. Is that something that the coach Greg teaches y'all to do? When you're talking about finishing a play, always finishing a play with the block if you're not the intended receiver?
Yes, sir. Coach Greg, Coach EB, they always get on us throughout the week about finishing the play, run to the ball, because you never know what would happen with the ball carrier. And I always try to protect my guys when they got the ball, so they know they got my trust. And if they get like a screen or if the running back running the ball, I just want them to know on the battlefield they can count on me to be there and do the right thing for them, make sure they get in the end zone.
Well, we've watched you since Butler County and K-State. That little header play was kind of nice where Darwin just headed the ball to you. I thought you were going to score there.
Oh yeah, man! I thought I got in there. I didn't know he had untouched me.
Save that one for the playoffs. Great job today, Byron. You are the door hinge. You helped this team win about 1,000 different ways. Good job.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all guys. Happy New Year's.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, I mean, it was great. I was excited to be out there. I think all of our guys were excited, especially moving the ball down there, getting some scores. But, yeah, a lot of fun to be out there with the guys.
Let's go next to Herbie Tiopi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Chad, Coach Andy Reid was mentioning Darwin Thompson and Byron Pringle as two players that stood out. From the guy on the field with them, what did you see out of their play today, and how much did they impress you?
I think, they were both confident out there. I didn't think the stage was too big for them. They did a great job. They did what they were asked to do, and they made some plays. Darwin did a great job in the run game. The offensive line blocked well for him, and made some good job in the screen game as well. And then Byron came up with some big plays there. That tip ball, I thought he was going to get in, and then he was dancing around on the one play. It was just fun to see some of these guys go out and make some plays.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Chad, the defense made a stop there on that fourth down at the goal line, but unfortunately then it gives you the ball inside your own one and in your own end zone. What did you see on the safety as, kind of how that play unfolded?
Yeah, that's just a bad decision with me. They were in, I thought they were going to be in man coverage. They pressed and then they brailed. So kind of gave a double move to DeMarcus out there. And at the same time, once I knew they bailed, kind of just either dirt the ball or just get the ball out. That was just one of those turning points in the game where you wish you had back.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Chad. Can you walk us through your first touchdown pass, the one to Byron, and just how good did that feel to get in the end zone again?
Yeah, we had a great play on it. It was really just sell the run, and then we had two post routes on the outside. So we were anticipating a lot of the linebackers to be aggressive in the run game and the safety, and just worked opposite the safety. And Byron made a great catch and play there. So a lot of fun and great to get back in the end zone and to celebrate with the guys.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Chad, if you're needed to play in the playoffs at some point, how valuable was today's experience for you, having not played in a game other than a couple of those late game things earlier in the season? How valuable would today's experience be for you?
Definitely valuable. I think getting out there, getting in the groove, and finishing the game off, and kind of just getting a feel for the game out there again. And with the run game, with some of our RPOs out there, and then obviously in our passing game. So feeling the pocket, getting hit a little bit was good. But overall, I felt, comfortable out there. I thought, offensive line and all the players, the skill guys did a great job out there. Just wish we would have came up with a win and finished it off.
Take the last two, Nick and then Adam. Go ahead, Nick.
Chad, for you guys, how do you approach staying sharp this week and having part of that layoff before the divisional run?
Well, I think, our game plan is to kind of, take three teams and just study film on them, split it up between the quarterback room and, share our notes with each other and stay into it with film study. And, obviously physically, we got to keep throwing, stay physical in the weight room. But as a mindset, try to take some of these games, look at some of the opponents and kind of get a head start in that case.
We'll go last to Adam. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Chad, how cool was it to be able to play in front of your family? They kept showing your kids. Just talk about that moment for you to be able to play today in front of your family.
Yeah, it's a blessing. Obviously early on in my career, I didn't, have the kids. I just had my wife, Brittany, and my parents and in-laws and just the rest of the extended family. But when you have kids, it's definitely a different feeling out there. And, I'm blessed that they were out there, got to see Dad play, and, hopefully they got excited for some of the plays out there.
Thanks, Chad. We appreciate the time.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, a chance now to talk with a man that's the D train, Darwin Thompson, and getting to be in that RB1 category for this game against the Chargers. Overall, Darwin, when you knew, hey, you're going to be the guy, let's go, saddle up, what was going through your mind to prepare for this game?
That's just what I do. Since last year, I said it a lot of times. I prepare like I'm the starter every day. Just when I go into practice, this time that I've had since, I think, week 3, since my football, I've just been perfecting my craft. It's just really crafting and attention to detail. The standard is high here at the Chiefs. So I love that. And when you're chasing greatness, you appreciate that.
D-Train, man, I've been a fan of yours since a year ago at training camp, seeing all the hours of work you put in, not only on the game of football, but on your body, how you come into this NFL taking nothing for granted. Pound for pound, one of the strongest guys I've seen on the football field. And I know talking to the strength coach, just let me know, what is your mindset as far as how do you prepare yourself physically for the game of football?
In the weight room, you know, I love the weight room because it's a challenge. I got to make up for my height somewhere. So I do that in the weight room. I know if I'm stronger or as strong as my O lineman or stronger than those D linemen, I got confidence when I'm out there on the field. That 5'8" guy ain't such a little guy in his head. I feel like I'm a 6'2" giant when I know I can put 600 pounds on my back. So just preparing my body for the NFL contact. I put more weight in the weight room. I just try to make up for my height.
Gotcha.
D-Train, we've had talks off the air, you and me. I mean, this goes back to your high school days in Tulsa. You grinded out at NEO. You grinded out at Utah State. You had 110 all-purpose yards today, not just running the ball, but as a receiver. The screen pass was really, really good, that 37-yard screen pass on the opening drive. What about your role as a receiver? And also, I saw you pick up blitzes today. What about that part of your game?
You know, that was a part of my game that I had to work on. Coming into the Chiefs, I was a running back. I didn't treat myself as an athlete. I was a running back. I could catch, but it wasn't receiver's hands. And so this time that I've had to perfect my craft, I catch 100 balls every day after practice, all types of different ways. I just have them shoot them at me, and I work on my punch. After those 100 balls, I go to the sleds and get my punches in, just running up there and getting a solid punch. And I've seen it pay off. And so I'm going to keep doing it, and I got to stick with this routine that I've trained myself with. You know, I learned from the vets. You know, Damian Williams, you know, you come into the league, you have those vets. Damian Williams, LaShawn McCoy, Sherman, Darrell Williams, those guys are my vets. And just watching the routines that they have, I had to create one for myself.
Well, that's a great list of mentors you've named, guys you've looked up to, guys that have kind of took you under their wing. What is one of the most important things, if you say the single most important thing that you've learned from those veterans as they've taken you under their wing and taught you about this NFL game?
This is business. This ain't football no more.
Gotcha.
This is business. It's a $1 billion business. You better, a lot of things going on around in the league. You can't take this game for granted. This is an opportunity. There's a lot of other kids out there that want this same opportunity. There's a kid out there looking to take your spot. So I tell little kids all the time when I go back home, I ain't going to take it easy on you. One day you might be in the league trying to take my spot. So I'm going to beat you right now to let you know. It ain't no easy. I ain't giving you no hands. It's a business. And I look at it like that every day. Moving forward from my rookie season. Coming in rookie year, I was wide-eyed to things. I mean, I'm seeing Tom Brady. I'm seeing Patrick Mahomes. These guys are on TV.
Final question, and talking about being a pro is being a special teams player. You're asked to be a special teams contributor in all ways. What about that part of your career?
It's almost like school. Some people don't love it, but you got to do it. And a coach once told me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so I can't be a great running back and a half play and special teamer.
Gotcha.
I gotta give it my all on special teams, and you know, special teams I'm gonna keep getting better at, learning how to block, learning to do things. I've never played special teams in my career besides running down on kickoff. And so coming into the NFL, you gotta learn how to do that fast, or you're gonna be out of here fast.
Congratulations. No, we wanted to win the game, but a big day for D-Train. Darwin, good job. I met your folks last year at the Super Bowl. They just texted me, eat your vegetables. That's what they said. Thanks, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So the Chiefs lose the game 38-21, but the real story here is it's on to the playoffs as the 1 seed. That and this. Make sure you get your Run It Back starter pack to get ready for the playoffs. All this stuff right here will be available starting tomorrow at the Chiefs Pro Shop. You can also check it out at Chiefs.com. Again, the Run It Back starter pack. Now the Chiefs get ready for the playoff shop. How do you handle this bye week if you're Andy Reid?
Man, like you said, rest, recover, get your mind off of football for a little bit. But like he said, the team is going to do its job taking care of each other. They're going to stay locked in as far as watching the other teams play. They know that we are going to play somebody between the 4 seed and the 7 seed. Yep. So those are the games that we know that the guys are going to watch. They're going to watch their matchups, be kind of a step ahead of game planning, so that when the following week comes along and our opponent becomes relevant to us, that we'll be prepared to get ready and hit the ground running.
Again, the 4 seed will be Tennessee. They'll play the 5 seed, the Ravens. Cleveland, the 6 seed, will play Pittsburgh. A quick turnaround. If that's a Saturday game, that's in 6 days. And then the Colts will be at Buffalo. We know, as you mentioned, the Chiefs will play either the 4, 5, 6, or 7. They will not play 2 or 3 in the divisional round. As we close this show and close the regular season, we need to lift up Travis Kelce here. Here's where the Chiefs Kingdom can make the play here, because Travis Kelce has a chance to be the man of the year.
Man, Walter Payton, man of the year, all the things he's not doing off the field, but also the things he's doing on the field and out in the community. I had the honor myself of being nominated my first year as a rookie for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. So many times doing things in the community with the hospital visits and everything he does. Travis does with the 87 and running, the walks. Man, it's just a phenomenal amount of time he spends in the community. He's dedicated to not only doing it on the field and showing a championship swagger, but also allowing our kids in the community, underserved, in the areas that that they really need some impact, some love. He shows them that love that they need, and he's a passionate man about it. So let's do our part, Chiefs Kingdom. Let's hashtag WP MOY,
yep.
WPMOY, Walter Payton Man of the Year. You can push to the Chiefs social media page and find all the different ways that they're supporting Travis Kelce. Just continue to retweet it. Let's spend this week. Let's lift up Zeus. Let's lift up our Man of the Year and make sure that he brings that Walter Payton Man of the Year home.
You can do it on Twitter. Just retweet. Let her fly. So there's a lot of reasons to go to the Chiefs' social, different social platforms all this week. First of all, that's the priority. Let's get Travis Kelce that Walter Payton Man of the Year award. 2, we will keep you updated during this bye week. We'll update you on the Willie Gay Jr. injury. Can he get ready and back for the playoffs? And then also we'll continue with all of our shows. You can follow us all week long. It is time. He's Shawn Barber. I'm Mitch Holthus. Yes, it is time, Chiefs Kingdom. It is time for the playoffs. As the 1 seed, the Chiefs will attack it and try to run it back.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.